Hello, dear students. I, Mrs. Rajashree Naik, welcomes you again in online lecture series arranged by Gokhale Education Society's B.Y.K College of Commerce, Nashik. In the last online lecture, we have covered classification of market on the basis of competition. In that, we studied about monopoly market. Today, in this lecture, we will study the next part of classification. So students, these are the content points of today's lecture, which we will be studying in this lecture. Classification of market on the basis of competition, B, imperfect competition, oligopoly, features of oligopoly, and expected questions on the content. See the chart. So students, today we are going to study about oligopoly. Meaning of oligopoly, meaning and definition. The term oligopoly is derived from the Greek words oligo, which means few, and poly, which means sellers. It is that market where there are a few firms or sellers in the market producing either a homogeneous product or a differentiated product. A state of limited competition in which a market is shared by a small number of producers or sellers is known as oligopoly. A situation in which a small number of organizations or companies has control of an area of business so that others have no share. Oligopoly is a market structure in which there are only a few sellers, but more than two. Few sellers of the homogeneous or differentiated products. So, oligopoly lies in between monopolistic competition and monopoly. Oligopoly is sometimes also known as competition among the few. What I said, oligopoly is sometimes also known as competition among the few, as there are few sellers in the market. And every seller influences and is influenced by the behavior of other firms. Okay, now see the examples of oligopoly. For example, mobile service providers, cement companies, or we can say steel, aluminium, etc. So these are the examples of oligopolistic market. Now let us see the features of oligopoly. First feature, few firms or sellers. Under oligopoly market, there are few firms or sellers. These few firms dominate the market and enjoy a considerable control over the price of a product. Under oligopoly, there are few large firms. The exact number of firms is not defined. Each firm produces a significant portion of the total output. There exists severe competition among different firms, and each firm tries to manipulate both prices and volume of production to outsmart each other. What I said, this exists severe competition among different firms, and each firm tries to manipulate both prices and volume of production to outsmart each other. For example, the market for automobiles in India is an oligopoly structure, as there are only few producers of automobiles. The number of the firms is so small that an action by any one firm is likely to affect the rival firms. So every firm keeps a close watch on the activities of rival firms. Second feature, interdependence. The seller has to be cautious with respect to any action taken by the competing firms. Firms under oligopoly are interdependent. Interdependence means that actions of one firm affect the actions of other firms. A firm considers the action and reaction of the rival firms while determining its price and output levels. A change in output or price by one firm evokes reaction from other firms operating in the market. This fact is recognized by all the firms in an oligopolist industry. If a small number of sizable firms constitute an industry and one of these firms starts advertising campaign on a big scale or designs a new model of the product, which immediately captures the market, it will surely provoke countermoves of the impact of the rival firms in the industry, or we can say on the part of rival firms in the industry. So thus, different firms are closely interdependent on each other. Different firms are closely interdependent on each other. For example, market for cars in India. Okay, example is about market for cars in India, which is dominated by new firms. Maruti, Tata, Hyundai, Ford, Honda, etc. Okay. A change by any one firm, say Tata, okay, is any of its vehicle, say Indica, will induce other firms, say Maruti or Hyundai, etc., to make changes in their respective vehicles. Okay, got it? Now, the next feature, advertising. Advertising is a powerful instrument in the hands of oligopolists. A firm under oligopoly can start an aggressive and attractive advertising campaign with the intention of capturing a large part of market. Under oligopoly, a major policy change on the part of firm is likely to have immediate effects on other firms in the industry. Therefore, the rival firms remain all the time vigilant about the moves of the firm, which takes initiative and makes policy changes. So thus, advertising is a powerful instrument in the hands of an oligopolist. A firm under oligopoly can start an aggressive advertising campaign with the intention of capturing a large part of the market. Other firms in the industry will obviously resist its defensive advertising. Under perfect competition, advertising is unnecessary, while in monopolistic may find some advertising to be profitable when its product is new or when there exists a large number of potential consumers who have never tried its products earlier. But according to Professor Bamal, under oligopoly, advertising can become a life and death matter, where a firm which fails to keep up with the advertising budget of its competitors may find its customers drifting off to rival products. So next feature of oligopoly, entry barriers. The firm can easily exit from the industry whenever it wants, but has to face certain entry barriers such as government license, patents, etc. The main reason for new firms or for few firms under oligopoly is the barriers which prevent entry of new firms into the industry. Patents, requirement of large capital, control over crucial raw materials, etc. are some of the reasons which prevent new firms from entering into industry. Only those firms enter into the industry which is able to cross these barriers. As a result, firms can earn abnormal profits in the long run. As there is keen competition in an oligopolistic industry, there are no barriers to entry into or exit from it. However, in the long run, there are some types of barriers to entry which tend to restrain new firms from entering the industry. So, this may be economics of scale enjoyed by few large firms, control over essential and specialized inputs, high capital requirements due to plant cost, advertising cost, etc., exclusive patents and licenses, and existence of unused capacity which makes the industry unattractive. When entry is restricted or blocked by such natural and artificial barriers, the oligopolist industry can earn long-run supernormal profits. So the next feature, lack of uniformity. There is lack of uniformity among the firms in terms of their size. Some firms may be small, while others may be of bigger size. Another feature of oligopoly market is lack of uniformity in the size of firms. Firms differ considerably in size. Some may be just as I said, some may be small or others very large. There is a common in the American economy. A symmetrical situation which firms of uniform size is rare. Next feature, uncertainty. There is a considerable element of uncertainty in this type of market due to different behavior patterns. Rivals may join hands and cooperate or may try to fight each other. The rivalry arising from interdependence among the oligopolists leads to two conflicting motives. Each wants to remain independent and to get the maximum possible profit. Each wants to remain independent and to get the maximum possible profit. Towards this end, they act and react on the price output movements of one another, which are a continuous element of uncertainty. On the other hand, again motivated by profit maximization, each seller wishes to cooperate with his rivals to eliminate the element of uncertainty, because they want to get maximum profit, or we can say profit maximization. All rivals enter into tacit or formal agreement with regard to price output changes. It leads to a sort of monopoly within oligopoly. They may even recognize one seller as a leader at whose initiative all the other sellers raise or lower the price. In this case, the individual seller's demand curve is a part of the industry demand curve having the elasticity of the latter. Given these conflicting attitudes, it is not possible to predict any unique pattern of pricing behavior in oligopoly markets. So students, these are the features of oligopoly. Now, expected questions. Question number 1, explain the meaning of oligopoly with its features. So students, we have learned and acquired knowledge on oligopoly and its features. In the next online lecture, we will go with remaining part of classification of market, that is monopolistic competition. Do take good care of yourself. Thank you.